The pain makes us better human beings. We need the failures to feel the victories. Welcome to my Tuesday. Welcome to the vlog. Welcome to a regular day. And if you're new here, nice to meet you. I'm Luciana Couto. I'm a health coach. But despite being a health coach, I don't like to tell you what to do. I'd rather share my lifestyle with you, show my routine so I can inspire you to take small steps towards a healthier lifestyle, I would say. Today is an indoor day and I have a few things to do. I have vlogs to edit, but I have been thinking a lot about this back injury that I had. If you're not new here, you know that I've been recovering from a back injury since last October. Yeah, it was in October. Oh my God, it was in October. It cost me a lot. I was training for my first marathon and doing my normal things, going to the gym every morning, being a very active person, and suddenly I couldn't do anything. Even reading was hard for me because I couldn't sit. Reading and writing, it was a nightmare. But anyways, this morning I was thinking about what can I learn from that, because it's not a thing that we want to live in life, but you know, sometimes it happens. What I'm trying to say is I was trying to come up with a meaning for that. Why does that type of things happen to us? And I think I came up with a few, not conclusions, but a few ideas or a few things that we can discuss today during the vlog. So let me grab my coffee, I need it, and we can start the day together. Let's go. So when I realized it, I couldn't finish the year with a half marathon, I felt like a failure, to be honest. I know it's not, but you feel that way. You know what I mean, right? You probably have your own experience when you thought you were a failure, even though it's not something that huge, right? I felt that way because I felt like I failed to you guys, actually. I felt like I failed to the channel, to my audience, because I promised, quote unquote, promised to finish the year with a half marathon. And I felt like I let people down. I don't like that. So that's why I was feeling like a failure, more than a failure to myself, but to others. And then I thought about it, like I started thinking about this feeling or this sense of failure. One of the things that I thought is maybe nobody cares. Maybe nobody is paying attention actually. And even if there is one person who cares about, one person who is paying attention, this whole situation can teach them something, can give them some perspective, can teach them lessons, can warn them about a few things. And then suddenly I started thinking that it was actually a good thing to happen. No, it was not a good thing at all, because it was very painful. But I would say there's a silver line in this whole situation, because I'm sharing my experience and I'm sharing my my whole journey towards my marathon. Actually, because I share my life, my healthy lifestyle, that's a good way to show how life is. That is a good way to show how real life is, actually. That everybody is a human being and everybody is subjected to setbacks, like I was, although I didn't believe I was. So that was the first positive thing that I got from this whole experience, is that I had the experience to show you the real life, to show you that sometimes life doesn't happen as we planned, and it's okay. It's not okay, it's painful, but it's okay in the end. That's what I mean. That actually makes a more complete runner, a more complete coach, actually, because how can I coach people? How can I help people? How can I share my experience as the right experience, quote unquote, right experience, if I don't face the challenges that everybody does? You know what I mean? And if I have to coach a particular person who has to deal with a setback or an injury or any type of setback, actually, now I'm more prepared for that because I know how they feel, I know how frustrating it can be. So ultimately, the pain makes us better human beings, not better professionals, not better influencers, but better human beings. By the end of the day, it helps us to build more empathy for others. I'm not only saying that because, yeah, when someone tells me they have this back injury, I'm gonna know how they feel because I had the same injury. But even other types of pains, even when we are talking about pains that are not physical, when you experience pain, when you experience frustration, you accept more other people's pain, even if it's not the same pain. You know what I mean? If someone tells me, oh, I'm feeling this horrible headache, I didn't have a problem with headache in the past, but I had a huge problem with pain. So I know it's not only about the pain. I know it's about the frustration of not being able to work properly, of not being able to sleep well. I know all the things related to pain, and I can be a better human being for them because I can understand them. And that's the first thing that was the first lesson that came to my mind that I learned with this injury journey. I'm actually grateful for. As I said, I would not think that it was a good thing that had to happen, but there is a silver lining in that, and I prefer to focus on the silver line. I actually want to take some time to analyze the silver line and to analyze how can I be a better person from this experience. And you know what? I was thinking about eating a caponata this afternoon, actually at night, at any time. This is a good recipe to make and leave it in the fridge because it can be a good snack and an afternoon snack. It could be even a side dish for a dinner. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, I'm gonna make a caponata. A caponata is, I think it's Italian. Yeah, it's an Italian dish. It's like a salad, but it's not a salad, it's a caponata. It's made of eggplant, bell pepper, and tomatoes and vinegar. I'm gonna show you anyways. I don't know why I'm describing right now. So let's make it. I'm gonna start making now because it takes some time to cool down, and then I'm gonna put in the fridge because it's better cold, so we are going to have time for that. I'm not even sure if I should call it caponata. An Italian might disagree. Let's just say I was inspired to create something like caponata. I don't follow strict recipes because I feel they can stifle creativity and stop us from learning new things along the way. Does it always work? Nope. But even when things don't go as planned, I find it helps me stay present, pay attention, and explore new options. There's always a lesson to take away, even when our old friend failure shows up to the party. For example, I realized mid-cooking that my pot was too small and had to switch to a bigger one. Lesson learned. Or not if you watch the next vlog. Just saying. And now it's time for our lunch, but I don't have to cook because, as you know, I cook double for dinner and I have what I cooked yesterday. If you didn't watch it, the latest vlog, I love what I made yesterday. I actually made a, how can I call it? A meat muffin, because it's like a meatloaf, but I made it with muffin tray. So yeah, it turned out delicious actually. I was afraid, not that I was afraid, but I didn't know if it would work, but it did. And another thing that I think it's important to mention is that we need the failures to feel the victories. Let me use my example again. I was confident that I could run my half marathon by the end of last year. I couldn't because of my back injury and I felt like a failure. And then January came. We are in January right now, and my idea was to run by the end of January. And now I start realizing that I don't think I'll be able to run a half marathon by the end of January just because of the weather. The weather is not ideal right now. It will get worse until March now. It starts to become dangerous actually, so I am not putting a lot of effort to finish the half marathon by the end of this month. And that's a good thing because now I have less pressure to reach that goal because I know it doesn't depend on me. I learned the lesson that not everything depends on me. I did my best. I did what I could. It was enough, but it was not what life wanted at that point for me. And it helps me to accept that and to be able to understand that it's part of the process. But what I wanted to say is another thing. When I say to you that we have to face the failure to feel the victory, what I'm trying to say is that if we don't have that feeling of frustration, if we don't have that feeling at some point of doubt, that feeling that I cannot do that, when we reach the victory, when we reach the goal, it doesn't feel like it was a goal. It doesn't feel like it was something important. It doesn't feel like a victory. If we were so sure that we would get there, there's no challenge. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I would do it anyway, so why do I have to celebrate this? No big deal, right? But when we have failures in the process, when we have setbacks, when we feel in doubt, when we feel that, oh my God, I cannot do that thing, and yet we do that thing, then we know that that was a huge step. That was a huge journey. That was a victory. That was something that only badass people do. That's a very rewarding feeling. And actually, that's a feeling that we don't feel anymore nowadays because of the instant gratification that we live every day. And here's another problem about social media. We are so used to instant gratification. We are so used to not work hard for the dopamine that we don't pursue dopamine. We don't pursue challenges anymore in life. Everything starts to feel dull. Everything starts to feel the same. We don't have the, when you reach some point that you don't get excited for anything anymore. So failure helps us feel that dopamine hit, that huge dopamine hit again. Only when we delay the gratification, we can actually feel it. So anytime in life that you have a setback, that you feel like a failure, try to internalize that. Actually, we tend to avoid that feeling. We tend to escape from that feeling. But actually, we should do the opposite. We should feel the pain. We should feel that angriness. We should feel that frustration, because when we reach our goal, when we are out of that situation in the future, we can remember the feeling. And only when we remember that horrible feeling that we can actually understand the size of the accomplishment we had. That's what I'm hoping for this whole marathon journey, because I am guilty of this, of pursuing something, and when I reach that something, oh, okay, next. But this time I want to feel it. So if it has to be hard, so be it. I am almost hoping, no, not hoping, no, not that hard. Yeah, I don't wanna suffer, but at the same time, I know if I suffer, it will be better in the end. You know what I mean? But let's see. That's the thing. If you're not a subscriber yet, maybe it's a good idea to do, so you can walk this journey with me, and you know in the future how it goes, if I actually could run my marathon in a few months. If I didn't, what did I learn? Stay with me. It's gonna be an interesting journey. I cannot promise, I cannot guarantee that we are going to run a marathon, but we are going to have interesting things here. Once the caponata cooled, it was absolutely delicious, perfect for sharing. And that's what we did. I want to encourage you to see food as more than just nutrition. It has this magical way of bringing people together, creating connections and building memories. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life and forget to slow down, laugh, and enjoy these simple, everyday moments. Let's not let that happen. Later, for dinner, I made chicken to balance it out all the red meat we had at lunch. Again, it was less about following a recipe and more about exploring what I had in the fridge and improvising. If there is one takeaway from this vlog, let it be this. By the end of the day, there is no such thing as failure in life. There are victories and lessons, and we need both to truly thrive. Thank you for spending the day with me. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy videos like this. I post regularly. You can also find my recipes and exclusive health and wellness content on my Patreon. Until next time, ciao ciao! In this video, I share with you our New Year's Eve in Niagara Falls. Don't miss it!